This is Charles 9mm, and we've got another great product to show you today. 3 years ago, I did a review on the Real Brass Knuckles, a company called therealbrassknuckles.com. Easy enough to remember, therealbrassknuckles.com. And I did it on these very traditional type of brass knuckles, and I gave you some of the history and some of the background on these, and talked quite a bit about the company that distributes these, which is a great company, therealbrassknuckles.com. What a great company. And these are my original set that I did the review on 3 years ago. And I was very, very happy with them. You can see that probably compared to how they looked back 3 years ago, these are quite tarnished, which I like. I like that patina. And also I've done some work on them to kind of customize them for myself, where I've sort of polished the edges and so forth, which I think is very reasonable, especially for the price of these. You can get custom-made brass knuckles for your hand from other companies and makers, and they're extremely expensive. I've seen them upwards into the $200 to $700 range, which to me is just really out of my budget, although they're quite beautiful, and if you can afford those, I recommend them. But for me, buying this cast brass knuckles and then barbering them or polishing them to fit your hand, I think is well worth it, and kind of cool too, because you can kind of develop them over time to be really a personalized piece for you. And they lend themselves to engraving or whatever. And I do want to mention too, is you really have to watch your local laws to make sure that it's legal for you to carry them. Because for me, I do not carry them outside the house. They're more of a curio, a collector's piece, and kind of a thing of history, which I find very interesting. But you got to keep yourself out of trouble. So I don't recommend breaking the law on these. Follow your local laws and see if it's okay for you to possess and own these, and if you can carry them, then good for you. I want to show you though the next iteration of these. I think that I just received lately that I think you'll find interesting. So this is the original set. Now these are called the old school. This is the new one, the old school, which is new, which I think, which is a little bit of irony there. But these are another one that's style that's offered by therealbrassknuckles.com, and you'll notice that the holes compared to these are a little more oval, and I find this to be extremely comfortable. And I also really like this, the brace bar in the back being flat rather than that shape. There's a Lincoln style, which is the style that Abraham Lincoln's bodyguards carry. That this back strap almost looks like a mushroom coming out of here, and it's only connected by one bar instead of two, and comes out of the center. I think it's really a personal preference. I'm really leaning toward these. I also noticed these, I didn't weigh them, but a little more weight to them, which is very nice. Now, as I mentioned, that I barbered these a little bit. I polished them to my specifications. I have not done that with these yet, but I probably will. Some of these edges are probably a little bit sharper than I would like, although it's functional as is. But I really can see some modification that would be really interesting for these as well. And I find these to be extremely comfortable. They really give a lot of weight to the hand, and very, very beautiful. It really is a piece of history in a replica for you. It's very nice, and they are fully functional. They're 100% brass. It's not a pot metal like I mentioned in my video that I made 3 years ago. So I also like the back bar, the support bar is a little bit wider, and it gives you a little more support in my mind. I really, really like the old school model. And it appears to be heavier. I thought it was wider, but it doesn't appear to be wider, maybe just a little bit. But I noticed that the edges are sharper which is probably more devastating for the knuckle side of it. And really nice. I think they did a great job. Beautiful job, realbrassknuckles.com. Thanks for making these. Thanks for importing them to us. And for you weapon collectors out there and historical collectors out there, I think you'll really find this as a wonderful addition to your collection. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.